example, the one that I've been tracking, TRVL, I think it's amazing. Completely different chart. Now, TRVL does have that problem that I suggested earlier. So it didn't have a bull run. So after the initial launch, it sold. The price was sold. And it's never really run, ever. Let me just pull that back. Get rid of this and this. And what you effectively had, after, because it was the bear market and it just they launched basically at the worst time possible, which was the end of Bitcoin bull market, November the 21st, 2021. Basically, because you've made a lower low here, this is the higher high. So effectively what you needed to do is make a higher low, which hasn't happened. So you made a lower low. So in this bull market, this token has to make a higher high. Has to. There's no question about it. This token has to make a higher high. Yeah. I think it will. I think it will because the trend has changed. If there's a golden cross, there's a lot of interest in this, and this project is off the charts. It's an amazing project. Yeah. Just go and do your research. Go onto Dtravel.com, have a look. Go do a deep dive on Dtravel. Have a look for some of my videos. I go over the business in depth. Okay, but this still has the same problem as some of the other tokens I talked about. It still has to make a higher high. But the great thing about this, the difference between something like this and something like, I don't know, PEPE or PROPs or any other token, is that you're basically accumulating at the very low. This is, for me, this is the very low. And underneath the launch price, which was 9 cents, is basically like people are coming in as pre-launch investors. So when you're accumulating this token now, it's basically like your early investors. No one ever gets a chance to be an early investor in these tokens, because it's usually offered to capitalists, to venture capitalists, and to hedge angel investors, because they're the ones with the money to throw around. So in my mind, I get anyone, like basically us, basically me, basically anyone who's listening to me has an opportunity to accumulate this pre-launch price under 9 cents. And this is a great project, and I think this will make the higher high. But it does have that same problem. Like the same problem still exists, market structure. Okay, and some tokens will and some tokens won't create bullish market structure in this bull cycle. Some tokens have really no chance, and for me this has every chance to get bullish market structure, because when I look at the moving averages, we've made a golden cross on the daily time frame. That is the beginning of a trend reversal. Yeah, and I'm seeing higher time frame bullish patterns forming. I've got the idea of some sort of Adam and Eve. That's an Adam and Eve pattern. I've also got the idea of some sort of Wyckoff accumulation forming. That's my Wyckoff accumulation. Yeah. So let me just delete all those brush strokes. I like brush strokes, but then I have to delete them. So I've been tracking this token for a while, and I've got these ideas forming. And if these don't pan out, then we're looking at something else potentially. So I think when you're comparing like PEPE, when I'm comparing PEPE to something like this, I'm like, why PEPE? Why not this? And you just have to go and have a look. For me, this is a lot more interesting because you are catching the lows. Whereas with PEPE, you're basically catching the bull market momentum, but you have to sell. I think most people who get in on this project now won't have to sell most of their position, because once it goes back up into the previous range above 9 cents, which is the launch price, 9 cents, and if it does in the future make an all-time high and continue to do its 5-wave Elliott wave, which I'm expecting, then I don't really expect the price to come back down to 9 cents. It'd be very unlikely, because you've just made a higher high. So the next challenge, which will be an easy challenge for the bulls, will, after the bull market is over, will be some sort of higher low. So that's, if we, once we make a higher high, the next challenge will be a higher low. And I think at the very least, at the very lowest, 9 cents, at the very lowest, 9 cents would be higher low, at the very lowest, the very lowest. But I think probably much higher, probably about 20 or 30 cents at the, and it depends, like no one can really predict the future. It just depends, because I think it depends on people extracting value, it depends on the network growing, it depends on the business. And these real world assets in the bear market always do better. These deep in real world assets in the bear market always do better than nothing tokens, rubbish tokens. So I think something to have a look at. I think it's something to have a look at. All right. I am also looking at potentially this higher time frame neckline break. So